Dante 151 in the super chat. You guys realize Jalen Hurts was in concussion protocol for 2 weeks? Is he going to be able to play for Philly against the Packers? Go Lions. Dante, don't know, but it's getting interesting, isn't it? And that line keeps dropping, doesn't it? So
I hope the Packers.
I think the Packers are here next week.
Dude, that would be awesome.
God, that would be awesome.
I'll take that. And like people that are like, "Oh, you don't want a division." These teams.
I'd take either of these. Dan Campbell owns land in Matt LaFleur and Kevin O'Connell's head rent free. I would take either of these matchups.
We could beat our division teams 100 times in a year.
Yep.
In a row too. Jason Kenyon with the super chat. I swear to God, I went to school with that lady Jane's gal at Ithaca. If not, she's a perfect doppelganger. If it is her, very sweet woman and a great friend. By the way, I'm sure all those things apply. There is no doubt about it.
She's a very nice woman.
She is a very nice person, no question. So yeah, it's here on Mark M. So St. Brown outplays Jefferson. Florio has that comment. What? No, but see, guys, this was my point about my whole run up to that week with this whole Jefferson discussion point, man. Like you think the difference in salary between Jefferson and St. Brown is a value for the Lions versus what you get. And you guys know that I'm right. You've seen it. And literally, the comments that Florio was making literally applied to Justin Jefferson.
Yep.
Literally applied to him. In the biggest games, he was the smallest, everybody. He just was. And I know it's a sweet chain, but he was the smallest.
I think, like, saying that what he said, that the production doesn't make, is just so blatantly false.
He gave Justin Jefferson's production.
He is, like I said, one of 3 receivers in NFL history, the other 2 being Antonio Brown and Devontae Adams, to have over 115 catches and over 10 receiving touchdowns in back-to-back seasons. He is going to be a first-team All-Pro receiver again this year. Like, what else do you want from the guy, Florio? Like, literally, what else? He's a top 3 receiver in the NFL for a second year in a row.
I don't get it
receiver
either.
that gets paid top 4 money.
Yeah.
Wow,
and there's no opinion. And for the Vikings fans that are hate watching, there's literally no opinion to what Spencer Raxter just said.
It's fact.
You can read it.
Yeah.
You're reading. Woodward Sports, chat thread, Discipler 22. Nick Wright on First Things First doesn't think the Lions can beat the Eagles or the Chiefs. He's going to be running out of teams soon.
Yeah.
He's going to be running out of teams.
Nick Wright also thought the Bears were going to win the Super Bowl.
Yeah. My favorite Nick Wright. The Bears will win the Super Bowl. No doubt, Spenny. Woodward Sports chat thread. Jump into there. Get your thoughts out there. Shoot, I had one here and we lost it. But anyway, the moral of the story. Oh, Sound Kayak. This is my favorite, Neal. Sound Kayak. This is maybe a character flaw with me, where I can't understand what D-Mac. I can't understand.
Don't have character flaws, bro.
I can't understand that when somebody sits there and reads you something, that it's not an opinion piece. What I gave you with the St. Brown Jefferson thing is not opinion. It's researchable fact. And Sound Kayak, my problem is, what gets me worked up about it, I can't relate to someone that doesn't understand math. I can't, or that can't read. And I'll never relate to them. And maybe it is. Maybe that's on me, Sound Kayak. Maybe that's my problem, Vikings fans watching. I'll try to be better. I will. But the fact remains, you can't argue math. No one can. You can't. And it's dumb stuff like this, man. Garden, Addison had 1 catch for 0 yards. J-Mo or Jordan Addison? Which one's better?
J-Mo.
I was Naylor.
That was my favorite response. I'd take Naylor over him. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I love it, man. Enigmatic says St. Brown had 30 straight catches on targets. Jefferson's never done that. 40 Gumble, Neal, Vikings hoisting Darnold up in the air, acting like they won the NFC after Week 17. You know what? That doesn't get enough.
Of all time.
Yeah.
The best part is the coach standing there like a proud dad. It's like, look at my guys. We did shower that man with water. We just beat the 3rd place team in the NFC North.
The team that went 1-5 in the division,
geez.
The Green Bay Packers, by the way. Never forget that.
Happy to be there.
Same record as the Bears this year in the division.
Right. That's exactly the difference between these two franchises. Joseph Glenn, they have that Minnesota education, by the way. So, no, I get it. I get it, but I don't get it, and that's where I am with it. So, I just
it's the dumbest thing I've seen. Like,
I know
you can't rationalize saying he isn't his statistics aren't good enough for what you're paying him. He is statistically a top 3 receiver in the NFL. What the fuck are you talking about?
And, like, if you want to cherry pick games, as I said, I couldn't tell if you were talking about Justin Jefferson or Amon-Ra St. Brown. And I couldn't tell that it was Justin Jefferson because you didn't say, and in the biggest game, he had 3 catches for 54 yards. Because then you couldn't have been talking about St. Brown.
And cried about penalties after.
Here,
didn't say, I need to be better. We need to be better. We got to connect better in the red zone. To give props to Amik Robertson for strapping his shit down.
Yeah.
He said, there was a lot of calls that didn't get made out there. That's pussy shit.
You know how I'm handling that? I got my fingertips on those balls, man. I got to catch them.
I got to catch them.
I got to catch them.
I'm the best receiver in the NFL. I got to make those plays.
I'm paid the most money.
Yeah.
I have the sickest chain. And, I have to do this. I got to touch. If I touch it, I got to catch it.
If you're the greatest and you believe you're the greatest, then you got to act like that. And then it's like everything's all on you. But that goes to show you that they're not where it is. I heard you do a segment in the pregame show with Sean talking about Braylon and I and saying, the fact that what we never complain about is the referees.
Yeah.
Right? Because they're going to call it. You can't control that. You just hope that there's consistency. Sean told you, Chelly, good game. You're either going to call it real tight so I know it and be consistent.
Or you're going to let it all go.
Or let it all go, and that's fine, and let the players manage themselves. At the end of the day, to Mike, this is it. Mike Florio says that. Then I go and I look, okay, Amon-Ra St. Brown, what's he making? 4th highest wide receiver? What's he producing at? Top 3? You're wrong.
Yep.
I mean, it's as easy as that. Is that not math?
That's math.
I mean, so I mean, and then you can get into all the ridiculousness of whatever else it is, but it goes to show you. I think, you know what, when all this comes out, like the truth, and after the game, what Jefferson, it goes to show you, don't you like your spot and your team and your culture? Because that wouldn't come out our room.
Well, and it goes to show me that Mike Florio doesn't watch the Lions.
But
that's all it shows
PFF,
me.
fit your narrative.
Yeah,
isn't that what it's for?
If you're looking at receptions,
he's a creator of PFF. Neal, isn't PFF create your own narrative?
Pro Football Network, not PFF.
But does the Pro Football Network value blocking? Value things that aren't showing up on the statistics sheet? Because that's where Amon-Ra St. Brown, to me, is heads and tails above Justin Jefferson. We can talk about catching the football. You're a wide receiver. You're supposed to. I want to talk about the extras, blocking downfield, cracking back and getting a linebacker on a screen pass, doing the gritty things. You'll never see Justin Jefferson be gritty because he's flash. Amon-Ra is substance.
Doesn't the maturity and the of the rest of your room, right? The maturity of JMO as a football player, come to working with Amon-Ra St. Brown. Who do you want? Whose learning tree you rather be under, right? To do it the right way. You think Amon-Ra is going to cut corners? I don't. You think Justin Jefferson or whatever, with that attitude? I don't know him, and I think he'd be that great as a professional, but I think he relies on his talent more than he relies on his work ethic. Right? That's what to Stick's point. So that's where the investment to the money to whatever it is, you can break it down. Amon-Ra so much more to that team.
It's a guy who was born with it versus a guy who's worked for it.
That's it. That's the explanation for a lot of things in life, isn't it?
Spenny's on me.
I gotta hit the break real quick. Chris Blackburn, how are you 1-5 in your division and still make the playoffs? Chris, let me let you on a little secret here. This is a nuanced thing that the Vikings fans refuse to understand. I'll explain it to you, and maybe you'll get it. You play someone in the NFC in your schedule. You play someone that's commensurate with the level of where you're at. And for that game this year, the Packers' one-off game was the Saints, I believe. And our game was the Buccaneers, right? Mark me on that. We didn't play the NFC South this year. It was just a one-off game.
Yep.
So they got to play the Saints. We had to play the Buccaneers. That's the difference. The Vikings got to play the Jets. We had to play the Bills. That's the way that this works. It's the great Fugazi, as Sean and I talked about.
To see where the real holes are in the system. and you get to see when people complain what they're actually complaining about, or if they don't have an argument.
Truth teller. Yeah. The lights are the truth. That's why
Undercover boss.
Yeah. Sit here like this the whole time.
Yeah.
Is that Stick?
That's why I love turning the lights on, man. It's the truth teller. There's nowhere to hide, man. Spencer Raxter in the building. Spenmo, what up?
Hello. I gotta go get some water.
Okay, there you go. No, you sit there in thirst. Chase is in the building. Also, all of you in the Woodward Sports chat thread. You can subscribe to the Woodward Sports YouTube channel. Jump in there. Get your thoughts in. You want to skip to the front of the line like Dante151 did. Use the super chat option. Dante151 complain about penalties? Come on now. The Lions would have a right to complain about penalties when the Lions only benefited from one defensive pass interference the entire season. GTFO, Justin Jefferson. Well, the good news is Justin Jefferson and the Vikings are out of our lives now, and that's all over.
Well, for a couple weeks.
No, they're out.
You don't think we'll ever play them again?
We won't see them again. Because I'll tell you this, if Jalen Hurts doesn't play, Packers could schedule merchant their way to a win there, too.
Yeah, I see both NFC North teams dying in the first round.
Well, it's the best division in football, I was told.
It's kind of like the SEC. We may produce the best team, but the division looks stronger than it actually was.
Jump in to there. Get your thoughts out. John Clark. Lunchbox Hooligan, by the way. That was a good one, D-Mac. Well, Neal, they did pay Hawkinson to not have touchdowns. 0 touchdown catches. He had 27 feet receiving on Sunday night.
Is that good?
27 feet.
Hey, I'm not judging. I just like to shoot straight.
Not even the length of 2 free throws.
27 feet?
27
I was watching
feet.
you knock down that length of putts for forever.
27 feet receiving. Oh, by the way, $17 million a year contract, too, for that guy. It's not hard to figure out why organizations are good. It's not hard to figure out why organizations are good. It's just not. Speaking of I like this stuff, so humor me here. Spenny, you may like it. I don't know how big of a dork you are. Spot Track tweeted,
He's big.
DeAndre Hopkins saw less than 50% of the regular season snaps in 2024, meaning the Chiefs will send the Titans a 5th-round pick instead of a 4th-round pick.
4D chess.
There you go. So I love stuff like that. I don't know why, but I do.
Those are small things that keep teams like Kansas City being teams like Kansas City.
That is also true. DNC ENT, Commanders in Ford Field next week, please. It does.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah. Is anyone else? I keep hearing this. You know what? And this isn't on the sheet right now, but it just DNC ENT. You guys program the show sometimes, and DMAC. Is it weird that I legit do not care?
No, it doesn't
Who comes
matter.
here?
That's where we're at. It's not like last year was, you maybe matchup centric or whatever.
Oh, we got the Rams. Oh man,
you got home field. Dan Graziano just told you that how can anybody come in here and win, right? And stuff like this. But forget all that. Look at your team. They're not gonna beat it. You know me, Neal. You watch the picks all year. I'm a huge Washington slap.
Yeah,
I mean,
every week
since you, like Jay Daniels isn't something new because you brought to my attention a few years ago that this kid was legit, and he's only proven that. Now, as the Washington Redskins, good football team, turned the corner a lot like got rid of the ownership, turned the corner a lot like the Lions did, but they're behind the Lions. They're not to the Lions' place, in my opinion, yet. Yes, would that be a game? Do you got to buckle up for it? Yeah, absolutely. Would you rather play Washington than Philly? If Philly has Jalen Hurts, it doesn't matter, Neal. It's irrelevant. You got to come through here, and that's the mentality that the Lions have.
Tammy Chin in the chat. Chat family, have a great day. Let's go Red Wings. If you're heading out to LCA tonight, reminder, it's Patrick Kane bobblehead night. Yeah, so you probably do want to get down there early for that. Have a great time at the game, Tammy. Good to have you for hour number 1, as always. And, it's just, it legit, I don't think that they will lose to anybody in the NFC in this building for a multitude of reasons. Something that I talked about yesterday as well. The people will not allow defeat.
No.
The crowd will not allow defeat. And look, it's rare. It's rare in today's day and age, but this is one of those, and this is going to be back-to-back games. The energy in that building will not go away. It will not go away, and it will not allow them to lose. It just will not. I can't envision a world where they do not win. And look, everybody, when they talk about these projections, they always just assume the cards are going to play out. Like it's just going to be the proper seeds will win. Never happens. Somebody always loses that's not supposed to lose. Somebody always loses a home game. So again, the people like praying for the Commanders or praying for this matchup or that matchup, that'll all take care of itself. Do you fear anyone in the NFC? I do not. Not in the least, man. Not in the least. Sorry.
What about who said it? Craig Ashcraft said, D-Mac, the Lions are 7-2 at home and 8-0 on the road. We do lose at home. Not anymore.
Not
in this spot. Not in the playoffs on the line, which you play for all year and stuff like this to have home field advantage. No, that's why you lost earlier, so that you don't do it later.
How about this stat by Byrne in the Super Chat? Since 1934, the Lions have never, ever lost a championship or playoff game when they played in the city of Detroit. We don't lose in Detroit.
Yep. That's interesting.
That is interesting.
Ride that trend, baby.
I do. Antonio D, dude, you could hear the crowd over the telecast. No, I know. Like, that's my point. And that's a bougie crowd, right? I heard somebody complaining earlier because tickets for the Lions, just to give you some cross comparison, the wild card game in Buffalo, great football town, right? Insane fans. They rolled out here.
Yeah,
they did. $115 get-in price. $115 get-in price for the Buffalo Bills.
That's relatable, right? Like,
yeah, well, and then if you want to say like the divisional round, which they'll probably more than likely be playing at home, $216 get-in price.
Okay.
If you want to compare apples to apples. For the Lions, $629 get-in price for the first playoff game.
Unbelievable.
$629. For the NFC Championship at Ford Field, January 26th, $1,266 get-in price. $1,200 plus get-in price. Prime seats are going for anywhere from $3,000
take my money
to $7,000. That's Taylor Swift prices.
Yeah.
That's lets you hit the lottery if you got one of those tickets prices.
It's wild. A buddy of mine was posting about how he wanted to take his family and it would cost him $8,000 to attend the game if he wanted to take his family. $8,000 for a 3-hour event. Not a day. Not a day.
Not with 80-degree temperatures for 4 days.
Yeah. No. Yeah. Not a vacation. Not seeing any part of the world.
Not all-inclusive.
No. Not even all-inclusive. I mean, God, $8,000. I love the Lions, but I love money as well. And I got a big TV. And I got Hey Social.
There you go.
You got a lot of big TVs there, bud.
Unfortunately, I'm one of the guys that have been priced out of going to see the Lions. And that's okay. I knew this was going to happen. I told people about back when the Pistons in 04 were awesome. The Palace was nothing but girls in mini skirts, and they didn't know who played for the team. They didn't care who played for the team, but they were there with their businessman in a suit, sitting front row, and they were seen on camera at the place to be. And that's what this turns into. It turns into a social event. It doesn't turn into a football game. People want to be seen there.
No,
which is okay.
But here's the
100%.
difference. Here's the difference. Right, where you can't, the vortex of the Lions, and I don't care even if you aren't, and you are wrapped up in it. Everybody there, celebrity there for clout, and whatever it is, has a vested interest in it. Like the Lions circumvent that, and I'll even say that like with the Pistons, even the Tigers and the Red Wings, not as much. But I think this what the city's done. Like it's a place to be, but everybody's caught up. To your point, Stick.
Yeah.
Right. Like everybody's invested into to be in there for whatever reason.
Yeah. The people I'm seeing post pictures on Facebook of them inside Ford Field now for these games were not the people that were there 5-6 years ago.
But they understand.
It's people
who
I
the
know
Lions
don't even
are.
care about sports, but they care. They understand about the movement that's going on, and
understand.
that's fine.
So then
New fans, old fans, y'all welcome to me. Let's have a party. It's just I can feel for the guy that was like, man, I was there when they were 0-16, and now I can't even sniff the entrance.
Yeah, but but what are we talking about here? That's the evolution. Why do you think
I'll take
you
it.
got to get it? Like if you're going to get your Red Wings tickets or your Pistons season tickets or your Tiger season tickets, get them now because you'll eventually be in this spot. Right? where the Lions are. And it's a good thing for the city.
It's awesome. I mean, they just put out $15 million went into the city this past Sunday night. $15 million. And that's just the downtown area. I mean, you see it. Hayes at 21 Mile and Shelby Township, wall to wall.
Couldn't get a table.
You couldn't. I got you the very last table. You
got to be somebody.
Yeah, you got to know somebody.
Think of that. Think about how big that win was with everybody celebrate, like guys like Stick, even who own establishments. What money did you just put in the economy for the next couple of weeks?
Yeah. And our wait staff was so ecstatic. It really does a lot.
So
for
everybody's
the community.
invested, right?
Yep. Yeah.
And shout out to all the super chats coming in here in the Woodward Sports chat thread. You got Owen Mullen saying, I love how when any coach tries to play like Dan Campbell and go for it on fourth down, it backfires.
Yep.
We own rent in other ear coaches' heads. 40 Gumble said, going to spend my money here because there is no way I'm going to spend it on Lions playoff tickets. And then Ryan's reaction saying, Stick, can you make prime rib available for the first Lions playoff game?
I mean, we do it on Fridays. We can bring it for a playoff game.
Nice.
I'll think about it. But to the point of the Vikings going for it and chasing what the Lions do you know that KOC only went for it on 4th and 4 in their red zone twice this entire year?
Correct.
This entire year. 17 games or 16 games. They only went for it twice.
And they did it twice in the game.
And they did it twice against Detroit. Dan Campbell just makes you want to be him, I guess, is the best way to put it. I don't know what voodoo he has over these coaches, because these coaches are supposed to be alphas, right? You're leading men, and then you look across the sideline, and all of a sudden their nuts shrivel up into them, and they're, oh God, I got to do what he does.
Well, I don't think it's what he does. It's just try to be smarter, and he makes other coaches make decisions. It's sort of like what Belichick used to do in a lot of ways of playing their own game. Isn't it a lot to the effect of what we saw Ohio State try to do with Michigan? Play their game, right? Instead of sticking to their game. I'm glad they went